and wine pairing.
So we know this can be a bit of an isolating time, and we hope to be able to connect with you virtually and provide some fun and entertainment. And so we hope you'll pour yourself a glass of wine and join us and join us in the kitchen. And the recipes and the wines, the links are on the sidebar of the video. And so you can cook and have a glass along with us and ask questions as we go.
Okay, very good.
Okay, so first off, cheers.
Cheers.
We are starting. Yes. We are starting with a glass of our 2018 Albariño. Yes.
There we go.
This is our Albariño is a grape from Galicia, from northwest Spain. Primarily the region Rías Baixas, and this is a grape that provides a lot of minerality, some salinity, stone fruit, citrus. And we had planted it in the Sonoma Coast vineyard, our cooler vineyard, in 2004. And it actually didn't even ripen because Galicia is so cool. And so Sonoma Coast is even cooler than Galicia, which we were surprised.
Yeah, and actually, when I traveled to Galicia, Galicia is cool for Spain, but for Sonoma Coast, it is not. So, and I brought over the cuttings from Spain because Albariño, in the days that I was living in Spain, it really was not a good grape at all. You can only find the wines in Galician restaurants, which were not very good. And then when I went back to Spain, 20 years later, I realized that there were some very good Albariños. And so I thought, I'll bring it over, and brought it over in 2004. And
so then our first vintage was the 2010. And
why? Why was that?
Because what we were talking about moving it from the Sonoma Coast to the Russian River vineyard. Yeah. And
but it took us 3 years to realize that it wasn't ripening there, because of course first you graft the bud onto the rootstock, and then 3 years later is when you get the first fruit, right?
Okay, let's get to the cooking.
Okay.
Yes.
So here is the first ingredient, zucchinis, because of course this is a dish called Zucchini Cake Cristina.
And so what are the origins of this recipe, and why does it have my name on it?
Oh boy, because I came up with it when I was writing my second book, The Cattle and Country Kitchen. And of course I had you, and I was interested in you having vegetables and good stuff, good food, and came up with this dish, which is really very healthy. And it was a way to eat lots of zucchini. As you can see, this is for one recipe, 3 pounds. And it has some very healthy ricotta cheese, some onion, some eggs, and that's it, kid. So yeah, that's what it is. So we're gonna get to it. And so what we do first, the zucchini have a lot of water in them. So what we do is that we have grated them with a Cuisinart, right? And then this is how they come up. And then you put them in a drainer, right, for a while, and then where's the here? Okay, so sorry.
And with salt, you add salt, right? Because that will extract the water from the zucchini.
Absolutely. So what we'll do now is I will put the zucchini, the grated zucchini, with salt, and essentially you want them to stay for about 20 minutes or so, but it doesn't matter if they stay longer. So now I will put that here, and squeeze them out. And while I do that,
I remember doing this when I was younger, and when we had lots and lots of zucchini.
Oh well, I could do it here. Really use.
I do.
Really hard. Yes, you do it there. That's really for young people, not for older moms.
Well, especially with all the tennis you've been playing, so you can see the water coming out. You can see it coming out. All right.
Okay. And then we're going to saute this. There you go. Good job. All right. Okay. Oh, I have a strong daughter. Isn't that nice? And then we're going to saute this in a pan. We put about 2 tablespoons of butter. And okay, great.
I think that's good.
So this goes to that skillet, and this goes out. And then, ta-da, like magic, here are the zucchini after sauteing them. And then we've also sauteed a big onion, as you can see, and they all go in here. So we're gonna now make the mixture. Meanwhile, how about another wine, Cristina?
Yes, let's go on to our second wine.
So I'm mixing up the ricotta, okay, and the eggs, 3 whipped eggs. There we go. And then, well, okay, we also put a little bit of Monterey Jack, which is a cheese that doesn't have that much fat.
Jack cheese.
Jack cheese, yes. Jack cheese, yes. Actually, I use Tillamook. It's a Jack cheese that's very, very flavorful. And a little bit of pepper. It's essentially 1/4 teaspoon. And there we go. And then I will blend all this and get the next stuff out of here. How's that? Okay.
And so next we have our 2018 Acero Chardonnay. Both the Albariño and the Acero are brand new, new releases. And this is our classic unoaked Chardonnay. Acero means steel in Spanish.
That's the one?
Yes, this is the one.
Thank you for pouring this out.
Absolutely. This is the one. It is completely fermented in stainless steel tanks, thus the name Acero, steel. And it does go through malolactic fermentation, which means that the malic acid is turned into lactic acid. So malic acid, like an apple has malic acid, and lactic acid, it's like in milk and dairy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it gives a bit more roundness.
I'm sure you would like to know about malolactic and lactic acid and malic acid. So in the scale of acids, the malic is the most acidic of all acids, and lactic is the least acidic because, of course, it's the acid that goes in milk, which is not very acidic, right? So by means of malolactic bacteria, you produce the malolactic fermentation. Wow, isn't that interesting?
So this is the Acero 2018. You get really citrus and apple, nice minerality.
And many people, this is the Chardonnay for the people who do not like Chardonnays, because of course it doesn't have any oak. But guess what? I've seen a very important publication saying, giving this wine 93 points and saying that you could really feel the oak in the background. And so it's hard to tell that it doesn't have oak. And that's because sometimes we think of other qualities of the wine as oak, and there's no oak. But it's really very fresh and fruity and it has especially a clone that we call Spring Mountain and another one called Sea that are very fruity and very floral. So it has a bit of that florality, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so here's the mixture now. Would you pass me that here? So
we've greased the pan.
Yeah, and I used olive oil. You can also use butter, but I'm a Spaniard and a Catalan, so I use olive oil. And now, I need somebody strong. Okay, to do this for me. You hold it. Thank you. I always need an assistant here. And so we put it in this mold.
Gonna fit?
Yes, it fits.
Smells good.
Yep. So you go like that, and you put it like this. And then, and by now, by the way, your oven should be to 375, okay? You preheat the oven to 375. And
I remember when I was little and we have the garden still, but we had so many vegetables in there and we would get hundreds and hundreds of zucchini and zucchini overload. We would make this. We would also make zucchini dough pizza.
Oh yeah,
from
so good.
Yeah, from that farm we went to.
One video we should do the zucchini dough.
Which
pizza.
is like the dough of the pizza is primarily zucchini. It's fantastic.
And Cristina was gardening. Can you picture her gardening? Yep.
Hey, that doesn't sound very nice.
Well, yeah, okay, fine. I'll take it back. But yeah, she used to do a lot of gardening. So that's what it looks like. Okay, and now it goes into the oven. I'll put it in the oven while you try.
Okay, and our third wine is the 2017 Chardonnay Albariño. So this is a 60-40 blend Chardonnay Albariño. And the roots of this wine are because we had the Albariño and we didn't have enough for a tank. So we blended it with the Chardonnay. It looks like we have it's okay, go ahead.
Well, guess what? By magic, this is already done. So we took it out of the oven, we put it on a platter, and here it is. So that's a Zucchini Cake Cristina. And then we will slice it in lovely slices, of course, and serve it with anything you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is going to take a while. So.
Okay, so we were talking about the Chardonnay Albariño, and this is, we didn't have enough Albariño for a full tank, so we blended it with the Chardonnay and had just a small amount. It was just for the wine club. And then the next vintage, the 2010 vintage, we had enough Albariño for a full tank, and so we made our 100% Albariño and did not make the Chardonnay Albariño. Mm-hmm. And our club members were really disappointed. They really missed the 2010 Chardonnay Albariño. And so we realized we just had to keep on making it. So this is a Club Marimar exclusive wine, but you have access to it right now as a special access.
And here is the way this looks.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Oopsie, wait. You have to organize that so it looks really good. This is a little dish that has the name of a letters there, and that's what it looks like. Can you see? Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm entitled to a glass of...
I think so. And we've got to try the Chardonnay Albariño.
That's it. I love it. I love it. It really blends the. Oh, and by the way, this is Acero, so it doesn't have any oak either.
This is a Chardonnay Albariño.
Yeah, but the Chardonnay that goes in it, the 40% Chardonnay is an oak, so it is Acero.
Mm-hmm. And here's a fun fact: in Galicia, in Rías Baixas, the Albariño, they plant it on pergolas, on this trellis overhead, because of the humidity, the amount of rain, and it's right by the ocean. So fungus is a big problem for the grapes. So to avoid that, they plant the Albariño on these overhead trellises. And on top of that, to maximize the use of the land, they plant other crops underneath the Albariño in the overhead trellis, which is really quite a sight.
Yeah, because one thing that I know about Galicia is that it's kind of the super opposite of southern Spain, for instance, Andalusia. So in Andalusia, you have the great, how do you say latifundios? Big, huge properties.
Okay. Like plantations?
Huge properties. I mean, the people there are how do you call them? I mean, landlords, right? Or not landlords. People with a lot of money and a lot of servants and horses and such. And so...
Plantations.
Yeah, okay, yes. And in Galicia is the opposite. And that's because the laws was that in Andalusia, the inheritance went to the oldest of the kids. In Galicia, on the other hand, it went to the same parts to the different kids. So in Galicia, the properties are very small. And therefore, this way also they maximize by planting the grapes on trellises, then they maximize the production. And they grew there avocados and kiwis. I mean, everything grows in Galicia because, of course, they have so much rain. They have more rain as an average than we have here. I mean, not just this year when we've had so little rain, but in as an average, they have even more rain than here.
Wow. Well, I think it's time to try some of the zucchini cake.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want the crispy?
Oh, I'll let you have that. Okay. And we'll try it. Oh, then we have to see which of the 3 wines. Oh, because actually this is a dish that I serve quite a bit because everybody loves it. And I find that, I usually serve it with 2 or 3 wines, and I see who likes best which wine. So I serve it always with the Albariño and the Acero. And, if it's a distributor who cannot get the Chardonnay Albariño, I just serve those 2. And then find out what they like best. And some people like the Acero better, and some people like the Albariño better. And now the Chardonnay Albariño. Let's see how it goes.
Oh, and we have news from Bill Stanley. He is enjoying a glass of La Masia Chardonnay. And our good friend Shannon Gartner, she was planning to open a bottle of La Masia Chardonnay also. And also Deborah Ramos, this is true. She likes to make the zucchini cake in little silicone muffin cups.
Yes. Which
is something that we do at the winery for a little individual, for our wine and tapas pairing once we reopen, of course.
That's
so
right.
this is one of the dishes that we pair.
Yeah, and it worked really well because you can actually freeze the mixture and then defrost it and put it in the oven, and it's really fresh. And then for the tapas we put a little bit of jack cheese on top, and then we put it in the oven and we broil it, and it comes out really, really tasty. So what do you think? Which one do we like better? Well, I think Chardonnay Albariño is really good.
Yeah, really the more. Yeah. I don't know, more fullness almost of the Chardonnay Albariño. Maybe with that extra year, it really complements the
No, it's good with anything or everything.
Okay, so a question from Shannon Gartner has a great blog and is in wine education. Check her out, Blonde Tasting. Would you serve this dish for breakfast, dinner, as an appetizer?
First course. It's really a first course dish. I would serve it for either lunch or dinner. Probably not for breakfast. What do you think?
Actually, I'd never thought of it for breakfast, but it has a lot of similarities with an omelet. Would very much be okay for
this
for
is actually similar what we would call in Spain a flan. And I think that here in America, you think of a flan as something sweet, but not necessarily. This is, we call this a cake. I mean, zucchini cake, right? So again, and it's savory. It's not sweet. We'll try it. We have to try it for breakfast. Tomorrow morning, we're going to try it.
I mean, the wines are tasting beautifully. Yum. I can't wait to finish this. And I think that's about where we wrap up, right, Mom?
Absolutely.
Okay, so as a recap, next week, tune in. We will be making a filet mignon with dried fruits, prunes, apricots. There's one more fruit.
Figs.
And figs, yes, in a cream brandy sauce. So we started out with not too complicated recipes, and we'll see, hopefully we manage with next week's, and that will be paired with 2 of our Pinot Noirs, La Masia and Cristina Pinot Noir, and our Tempranillo as well.
Right.
And then a recap, the wines, are the links, and the link to the recipe is in the side tab of the video. Our 2018 Albariño, 2018 Acero Unoaked Chardonnay, and our 2017 Chardonnay Albariño blend.
I think my favorite might be the Chardonnay Albariño.
I really agree. I think it's pairing beautifully.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.